We are back. Raiding the Kingdom, episode 159, Knicks of Time. Our Week 11 review and our Week 12 preview. We have Nick representing the Broncos. Coach is always representing the Chiefs, the 9-1 Chiefs. And me representing the loser Raiders. So there we go. How's everyone tonight?
Good. Feels good to be back, man. It's been way too long.
Yeah, got some stuff going on. So we're a little delayed, but we're back.
Yes.
Caught me on a good week. I'm doing great.
Yeah,
if you'd have caught me last week, we'd have had a problem. But this week, I'm doing great.
I feel like we could still talk about last week at some point tonight if we want to.
You know, it probably needs to come up at some point. It's just classic Broncos. It finally kind of felt like we were over the hump, and it just was classic Broncos. You know what, though? No more looking back. No more looking back. We're all good now.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Must be nice that someone feels good. All right, while we're on the subject, let's start with the Broncos, what's the season record now?
6-5.
6-5. Second or third in the West?
Nope, still third.
Yeah,
behind the Chargers.
Chargers looking good.
And we've got the 7th spot in the playoffs right now still. So right now it's 3 AFC West teams. 2 of them represented here, 1 of them not. We're not going to name names.
And one thing I will say too, I think, low key Missouri just got sports betting. Obviously, you're an Illinois guy. Go over to Illinois or to whatever state you're in, and throw some money on freaking Bo Nix being the Rookie of the Year. I still think it's a possibility. I think it's like plus 700 now?
Brock Bowers.
If Brock Bowers wins it, I'm going to lose it. I think he's plus 400.
He's plus 400. I know he was gaining, and to me, if you got an extra $20 to $50 just to throw down on a dude, with the way they've been playing and the way he's been playing, and I mean, obviously Jaden's still been great, but
tell you what, Go ahead and ask me who placed that bet preseason when it was at plus 1,400. Go ahead.
Who placed that bet?
That would be this guy.
That'd be this guy.
Oh,
yeah. So it's looking much better now. In the beginning of the season, it was like, all right, well, that one's chalked. It is what it is. But we're back.
That's quite the payout if that ends up working out. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
I've also got one for Sean Payton as Coach of the Year, which if Bo Nix wins Rookie of the Year, they probably won't double up because they're probably not going to do that. But he'd have a decent case for it.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Broncos played the Falcons. The two of you put your money on the Broncos. I was dumb enough to pick the Falcons, and here we are. So, Nick, give me your overall in the game.
I mean, the overall is it looks like Bo's the guy. Obviously the first few weeks were a little shaky. Rookie coming into the NFL, he had to go to Seattle in the first week. Obviously didn't look great. Then Pittsburgh comes to Denver in week 2. That game looks better now. The Steelers are really good, so it is what it is. We barely lose that one, and since then, he's been hot. Bo's kind of the main thing. Obviously, the defense looks really good. They flopped against Baltimore. There's no way around it. That's what you're going to get with Lamar Jackson. Sometimes he's just going to be Lamar Jackson. It is what it is. Looked good. Defense looked good against the Chiefs. And everything kind of came together this week against the Falcons, and they didn't allow Kirk Cousins and that offense to score a touchdown. So you're not going to hear many complaints from me today.
No, I mean the Falcons' offense is arguably their strong point with that many playmakers they have, and Kirk looked terrible. There's really no other way around it, and to not score a single touchdown with that, which doesn't make sense at this point. This point in the season. Unless Sean Payton's defense just confused him that much, but he's been around the block long enough; it shouldn't be a thing. So, I was very hard on the Vance Joseph hire. It was not one that I was happy about. In week 3 last year, when Miami scored 70 on us, I was extremely upset about it. Since that game, Vance Joseph has proved me wrong. He's probably going to get another shot at head coach somewhere. I'd say he'll get some interviews this time. If the defense continues, I think next year he could have a shot at one.
You know what? To me, I've had this realization that there's these guys that are just like meant to be coordinators, right? And
I agree 100%, and I think that's Vance.
I think Vance is one of them. I think Vance. There's other reasons Vance might get a head coaching job, but I think like guys like Steve Spagnuolo and stuff like that, you can make a lot of money as a D coordinator. You have one set thing, whereas you don't have to consider necessarily the whole team. Obviously, I think Spags has probably a lot of pull in that building, but is it really worth it? No. You see what's going on with the Jets and the Giants and all this other stuff. Stay a coordinator, make your money. You got your group of guys and stay there. I think Vance being with Sean Payton, just like Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo, it's just a good match. If it ain't broke, don't. Or if it ain't,
I hope so. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets another chance. Again, all of this has to continue. It's all contingent on everything continuing. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets another chance because at the same time, you got to look back on those Broncos teams. They were terrible. His quarterback situation was so bad.
Yeah.
So maybe he's got it, or maybe he wants to stick around in Denver for a while. I'm good with that.
See where it goes. Yeah, for sure. But
that's kind of like the Ben Johnson argument. Everyone says, "Oh my God, when Ben Johnson finally becomes a head coach, there's no guarantee that's going to work out. He could just be a slam dunk offensive coordinator, and that's all he should do."
Yeah, we all remember how great, just for example, Robert Saleh's defense was in San Fran, and he brought the defense to be pretty respectable in New York, but you just couldn't get the other sides of things. So it's like I think
they're an absolute dumpster fire. Right
now. The mystique of being a head coach, there's so much that goes into it, and there's only so many Andy Reids and Sean Paytons out there that they're a dime a dozen, man. It's hard. It's a hard league.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, not a whole lot of complaints. You know what? I do have one. I don't mind little Jordan Humphrey, but we have got to get some other guys the ball. That dude cannot hang on to the ball. It's frustrating. Once a game, he's fumbling.
He's fumbling, yeah.
And Court did it one time.
It's like Jerry Judy's back,
I think.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, no, Jerry. You know what? I'm not even going to be mean to Jerry. I always thought Jerry was going to blossom once he left Denver. The problem is he went to Cleveland, so that didn't help much.
Right.
But
he still thinks he's a top 15 receiver, but
yeah, he's got a bit of an attitude problem. But what are you going to do? That's a receiver for you.
Yeah.
But little Jordan, I mean, as much young talent as we have at the receiver room, which granted, it's not the best receiver room in the league, but give him a chance. You got the ball to little Jordan.
Yeah, Troy Franklin obviously had a good game too. I think he was a guy I liked a lot in the last draft. I think he'll continue to get better and blossom. He's got to give. We are so. It's such like a we want results now world because you get guys coming out like your Justin Jeffersons and your Malik Neighbors at least the first half of the season. You're like, well, why isn't my guy drafted doing well? You got to give him an opportunity. Not everyone is off the shoot. They're going to be studs. So give him an opportunity. You guys got a lot of talent. You guys just need some more dogs in there, but you guys are on the right direction for sure.
Yep.
Well, there's a reason these guys go in the first round too. When you get a receiver out of the fifth or sixth, there's a reason there's still some development needed there. Maybe they're not clicking with the quarterback. That's all part of it. So, that's something people need to take into account. Because wouldn't Troy Franklin go third?
He went.
He was in the third.
Fourth.
Yeah.
He was fourth.
He was fourth.
Fourth. Yeah.
And that was like one of the drops that we were shocked at because we thought the Chiefs were.
Yeah, because we thought I had some of my mocks. I thought he could have gone to the Chiefs, but these talent evaluators typically know what they're talking about. So, we shall see.
But one more guy, just to give a quick shout out, Nick Benito is having an unbelievable season.
Yes,
I didn't even realize this until this week. He's tied for second in the league in sacks. He's at 9, and Trey Hendrickson leads at, I think, 11.5.
Yeah,
he's at second and 9.
How many times did he get to Patrick? I think he got to Pat like 2 times.
He sacked him, I think, maybe 1.5.
Yeah.
Or maybe 1, but he got to him 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And just couldn't quite finish it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he was a beast, and the Broncos always do a good job of drafting linemen and linebackers. Mm-hmm. So you guys got a good future, unlike the Raiders.
We'll get to us. All right, to the
Okay.
Chiefs, who also are losers this week.
Yeah,
Oh.
first time in 15 games. It happens.
Okay, all right. There has to be a caveat to it.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm gonna say. And in full transparency, we do what we've been doing our picks. I picked the Bills. I thought that the Bills were gonna get this game. I don't want to necessarily say it meant more to them than it did KC because this KC wins this game and we pretty much have home field locked up. They lose, it's a little bit more dicey, but we don't necessarily need to worry about that right now. Josh Allen boys, they just played better. Even the Chiefs said it. Travis Kelce gave them their props for just being the better team that day. A couple bad interceptions by Patrick Mahomes, which just seems to be a weekly thing now.
More and more frequent this year.
Yeah, definitely more frequent. But we were. We had that 50 touchdown season and, winning MVPs and just being an absolute monster on the offensive side. He's become what seems like more of a game manager, and we've relied so much more on our defense and quite frankly, luck too. We've won a lot of games this season by just luck. I mean, you're going to, give me shit and say it's the refs. I don't really.
Any games in particular that you can think of off the top of your head?
The game against the Broncos was I sitting there on the couch, not far from having to go into work and texting you like, good game, man. I was like, and then we blocked the kick and I was like, I really hope Nick Baby is not close to him because he might throw the baby.
The problem is I've seen this movie so many times. I knew that kick was not going in.
That just doesn't happen. I mean, maybe it happens to Denver and obviously it did, but I was just so baffled by I'm not baffled, but just shocked. And my boy Leo Chanel did it too, right? John Cena is what they call him. But in that realm, they actually saw him and he blocked it. So, it sucks. It sucks to lose, especially to Buffalo, because they're one of our main rivals over the last 5 years. But we just got to put our heads down and go. We got Carolina this week, so it's a good week for Pat just to go off. Have one of his vintage 5 touchdown games, which I could use in fantasy.
Boy, you hope so, don't you?
We sure hope so. We hope so, but the Chiefs haven't. I don't feel like the Chiefs have played in all aspects, whether it's special teams, defense, and offense, their best game yet this season. But yeah, we're still 9-1. So that says a lot. Like I said, a lot of luck involved, some skill. You're going to say the refs, but we've got to bounce back. It sucked, but it is what it is. I'm not going to harp too much on it.
Fair enough.
Didn't the Bills beat them last year too in the regular season?
Yeah, and then
that's kind of the trend, though. They take them in the regular season. Then
that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I think we'll still likely see this, later on in the postseason this year because they're both obviously going to make it. All right, I'll get into another terrible game. The Raiders fall to 2-8. They lose to the Dolphins 34-19. Both teams kind of did a lot of short passes, get the ball into the quarterback's hands quick, and then run the ball. The issue was the Raiders couldn't run the ball and the Dolphins could. Achane ended up with, 17 carries for 73 yards and a touchdown. Jonnu Smith, of all people, went off. He had 2 touchdowns. Really the only shining star is Brock Bowers, who had 126 yards and a touchdown. He's smashing all these rookie tight end records, just tight end records in general. So, you could say that he was a piece they pulled out of the draft that was obviously or is impactful, but was it really the hardest pick to make? I mean, he was the best tight end of the draft. It wasn't close, and then he was taken in the first round. So I'm not going to give Tom Telesco a ton of credit on that one. Really, Raider Nation in general isn't talking about the season much anymore. They're trying to find little glimpses and highlights, but the majority of it is 2 debates. Do we fire Antonio Pierce, and is it Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders? Which we're not going to do this episode because that's for draft season, but that's where Raiders fans are at now. We're already just we don't want meaningless wins. We want to increase our draft stock. Second rounder from Devontae, and the whole system is just shut down. We just don't want to lose. Just got to keep Max Crosby around. That's really it. Everyone else can go.
Where is Raiders Nation on Pierce?
It seems 60-40 fire him, 70-30 maybe. It kind of changes. I like him. I like him. I think he should give him another year. We all knew out of Gardner Minshew, we weren't going to get some kind of amazing year, and I don't know. I don't know what anyone expected. The same thing with Jimmy G. Like I don't know how you thought this was going to be that much of an upgrade, and it's not. So
Pierce is kind of an interesting one to me because you've got some coaches like a Matt Eberflus, like that dude's gone as soon as they get a chance.
Oh, he's done. He's done. Yeah.
But Pierce is he's just in a weird situation, just a weird spot.
Because Mike McCarthy in the Cowboys, like they had the pieces to win, they couldn't do it. I'd argue that the Raiders don't have the pieces because they're missing at the most important position on the field, which is the quarterback, and it's been like that since they got rid of Carr. And I don't know. Some of these like Eberflus, like their receiving core is probably one of the best in the leagues, and they stink. So you got to figure it out. But I don't know. The offseason, I think we're going to see a ton of head coaching firings. I don't know what the Giants are going to do with Daboll. We already fired our offensive coordinator. There's a whole host of things that can happen. The two of you your coaching hires are intact, obviously.
Ours better be because we traded a first-round pick for him. So if ours wasn't intact, we were going to have an issue.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Giants, you've got to start Drew Lock, right?
Am I wrong? They don't want to pay him any of those. Yeah, that's Eric. It's all about the money right there.
All they're trying to do is get people in the seats. There's no possible way they think DeVito's better than Drew Lock.
No, it's not possible. They just want. It's all about the.
It's all about selling shirts and meatball subs.
You said people in the seats. Did you see how much the tickets are running for the Thanksgiving game, Cowboys and Giants?
No, I actually didn't.
$25 is the starting price.
Was that before they named DeVito the starter?
No, it was
after. That was after.
Yeah.
It just, again, I'm not gonna say Drew Lock was great, but he kind of got screwed. We fired his offensive coordinator when he was starting to have success. Whatever. I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but give the kid a shot. Tommy DeVito is just he drives me nuts.
It's to get butts and seats, dude. That's all. The Giants are not in the business of winning, really. I think
for sure.
Daboll and Joe Shine. I think it's like they want to see some sort of improvement. Obviously, they're not looking to lose the rest of their games and then be able to keep their jobs. But I said this earlier. I said Bill, I wouldn't be shocked if the next head coach of the New York Giants is Bill Belichick. It's a full circle thing for him. Obviously, he was on the D coordinator on their Super Bowl teams in the early 90s. But I don't know. It's this NFL offseason, which is, for the Raiders now, for us, in a couple months, it's gonna be crazy.
This was the first year of Daniel Jones' contract, right?
No.
Did they just sign it this offseason?
This is year 2.
Year 2, yeah. He just didn't play last year.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's just still just one of the all-time buffooneries that you gave this dude $40 million. And he's a smart kid. He went to Duke, so I hope he's invested his money and done well because he's a backup quarterback. That's what Todd McShay said when they initially drafted him. I saw an old clip back when he was doing the his analysis on ESPN that Daniel Jones has got intangibles, but he's at best a backup quarterback in the league. And the Giants have let go Saquon Barkley, and he's an MVP candidate. So
he's absolutely killing it.
Wild.
Yep.
All right. Are we ready for Week 12 predictions?
Yes.
And we have an update on our tally, even though it's been a few weeks. Coach is leading with 104, correct? I'm behind him with 102, and then Nick is comfortably in third with 94.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll get some surprises this week, and things will change. Let's kick it off. Coach, as the reigning champ. Well, not yet because I won last year.
Yeah.
Steelers and Browns.
You got to go Steelers, man. We don't need to discuss that much more than just Steelers.
Nick?
You can go ahead and mark me down for Steelers.
There we go. Done deal. I am on the Steelers train as well. I picked them to lose against the Ravens, but I think, Coach, you picked them to win that one, and that ended up working out. All right, Nick, you've got Patriots and Dolphins.
Man, you've got to go Dolphins, but I guess you don't have to. The Dolphins just even since Tua's been back, they have not impressed me that much. They've got way too much talent on that offense to just be so.
They're really not airing it out like they used to.
Yeah, McDaniel needs to stop doing coke and riding on cigar boats and
That dude's
trying to
wild.
be like he's Miami Vice.
He's having a good time. Let him enjoy himself.
You know what? I'm gonna get crazy, man. I'm gonna go New England.
Okay, coach.
Where is that game?
I think it's in Foxborough, right?
It's in Foxborough, yeah.
Man, I'm gonna stick with the Dolphins, but I don't love it, to be honest with you.
All right, I'm taking the Dolphins as well, but I don't love it either. That's one that I think is a little bit closer than it could be. But
problem is, I got to start making up some ground at some point.
Well, here's the chance to start it now. I've got Cowboys and Commanders. I'm going to go Commanders. Cowboys are just smoked, done. They're
everybody raise their hand if they were going Commanders.
If you think I'm taking a gamble on Cooper Rush, I got bad news for you.
No, that's not.
I don't know why don't they just put Trey Lance in there and see what can happen.
I heard that on ESPN radio today. Why not give Trey Lance?
Well, yeah, because then even if he gets blown out, then you're just helping your draft pick anyway. So who cares?
Right, and that's going to be the end result regardless. So I would just go ahead and do it. But Mike McCarthy clearly knows he's done, which I've been predicting his firing for years now, and I keep being wrong. But I think this time I'll finally be right.
100%.
Well, the next one I don't think we'll have much dispute about. Coach, you have the Chiefs and the Panthers.
We're going to go Chiefs.
There's going to be no upset on this one. No, absolutely not. So all of us concur Chiefs over the Panthers. Nick, you've got Vikings and Bears.
Man, that one's in Soldier too. No, we're gonna stick with the Vikings. Caleb Williams has been back and forth, but not enough for me. And I'm with some Bears. Most of my friends are Bears fans, and Eberflus is atrocious. So I'm not gonna stake my ground where he stands.
Yeah, Coach.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the Vikings.
Yeah, I'm going Vikings as well. I think they're going to be playoff bound as well. They're one of the stronger teams. Well, I mean, the North in general is pretty strong. Besides
their win total was at like 7.5 this year.
Jeez, huh.
The Vikings was.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right,
I've got 5.5.
There you go.
Not even
just making a point.
I can't even partake in the conversation, but that's fine. Yeah.
No.
I've got Titans and Texans. Definitely not on board with the Titans at all this year. I'm going to go CJ Stroud and the boys to clean this one up. What about you two?
Yeah, Texans as well. I think this is going to obviously pretty much solidify the AFC South being theirs. But yeah, I don't have any doubts. Texans.
Nick,
I am looking. Dang, I was trying to see where it is.
I think it's in Tennessee.
They've been playing better. Mayonnaise Man has been a little bit better for him, but
he's a wild card.
I just have not been that impressed with the Texans. Give me the Titans in that one.
Wow, Nick taking a fun. I mean, you got to take some. That's what Coach did last year. So you got to take some risks to make it.
Well, I got down so much. I just was like, the fucking Browns or the fucking who's the worst team in football last year? The Bears are going to beat the. Yeah. You just have to shoot.
Going to take out. You never know. Maybe, like you said, maybe Mayonnaise Man will decide to pull it together this week. You never know.
Yep. Put that shit in his coffee and go to work.
Coach, you've got Lions and Colts.
Lions, man. I mean, biting kneecaps and scoring over 50 a game, man. Them Lions are firing on all cylinders, and you just hope. I mean, and the adversity come when you lose Aiden Hutchinson, the guy who's leading the league in sacks, and you don't really miss a beat. So I'm gonna go Lions.
Nick, Lions as well.
Yep. Yeah, no argument here.
Yep, none as well. I think Coach and I thought we were totally wrong about the Anthony Richardson, kind of like our draft analysis. And then sometimes he kind of proves us right. Sometimes he proves us wrong. So I guess we're still right because he still has development. And
he's not because he didn't really get to play all much last year. So I would think by next year at this time we'll have a better real view on who he is as a player.
He was never a guy that needed to start early. Never was.
No, and in all reality, you had Flacco. Let Flacco play. He should have sat a year like Mahomes did, and then you have prime Anthony Richardson mode. I agree, Nick.
Nick, you've got Bucks versus Giants.
Bucks. I'm not cheering for Tommy DeVito. It's not going to happen.
No, Coach, I imagine you're the same. Mike Evans is supposed to be back for the Bucks as well.
Just for the record, if it was Drew, I'd be Giants all the way.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't
Big
know if I
Drew
would
guy.
still extend. Yeah, I'm not. Our first 4:00 game, Raiders and Broncos. Of course, this lands on me. I'm going Broncos. I have no faith in the Raiders to get anything done productively this season. They'll probably have one more win. It'll be some fluke, something or other.
I mean, I guess it doesn't say a whole lot because the Browns beat them too. But the fact you beat the Ravens, that'll be the highlight of your year.
That's probably the weirdest game all year.
Yeah, I mean, we still had Devontae adds another threat to any defensive, scheme. So the fact they don't have to game plan for him anymore, it's brought everything down a significant amount.
Jacoby Myers hasn't had a bad year though.
No, he's not bad. He had that rushing touchdown the other day. He's a decent too, but
I'm not going to say you want him as your number one offensive. Well, I guess you got Brock Bowers, but he's not the guy you want leading the charge. But
no. Yeah, no, I like him as a player, and I didn't like the signing initially, but I think he's decent enough. I hope that he sticks around next year for whoever we have throwing the ball to, but we'll see. Coach, I imagine you're taking the Broncos as well. Yeah, no one should bet on the Raiders. That's a horrible idea. Coach, you've got 49ers versus the Packers.
In honor of your brother, I'm going to take the Packers.
Oh, okay. I'm going Niners. Packers have a rough history against them. I think Kittle will be back. Debo's playing. I'm gonna go Niners. They seem to have their number more often than not. I'll go Niners. Nick?
I'm gonna go Packers. You're definitely right. The Niners definitely have the Packers number, but every time I pick the 49ers this year, they screw me. So I'm not doing it this time.
Fair enough. Nick, you've got Cardinals versus Seahawks, our last 4:25 game.
Give me the Cardinals.
I'm going Cardinals as well.
Yeah, same here.
Oh, and Coach. All right.
Good rebound year, and Kyler Murray's hasn't necessarily been great, but they still find ways to win. So,
James Conner is just not getting talked about.
Yeah,
he's had a great year.
And how old is he now? He's got to be up there.
He's got to be close to 30, I would imagine.
Yeah, he's 30. I think 31, something like that.
He missed a whole season with cancer and all kinds of
stuff. He's in Pittsburgh. Yeah, he's a fighter, man. He's a warrior. And Marvin Harrison Jr. hasn't really done shit for them either. So their defense and they got it going on.
Trey McBride's had a great year.
Yeah. He did. But this is why, Coach, you and I think Nick, you were in agreement too that Malik Neighbors was the one over Marvin Harrison, and I'd say their offense would be even more dynamic if they had him. But
there's just no one can throw the ball to Neighbors right now. I don't necessarily. I don't think they're using Marvin Harrison Jr. right.
Mm-hmm.
But
they'll get it figured out.
I honestly don't think he's getting enough looks. I just don't think they're throwing him the ball enough.
Yeah.
He's kind of a guy that you almost want to try to force feed a little bit.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, he's a big, tall wide receiver. How you're not just giving it to him in the end zone.
It's the same thing I've said with Cortland Sutton for years. Throw him the 50-50 balls. He wins them 75% of the time. It just
he's not a burner. He's not Tyreek Hill, but he's a finesse guy. He's a route runner. Yeah. I don't know what. And like you said,
like his dad. He's not fast, but he's a route runner, and they're not getting him the right ball in the right way. I don't think so. He's kind of
like Devontae. He's more of like his release, his route running. It's not so much his speed or physicality. No, 100%. All right, Sunday Night Football, decent game. Eagles versus Rams. I'm going Philly all the way on this one. They're not blowing teams out, but they have the pieces in play. Jalen Carter's having a good year. Obviously, Saquon is a freak. Jalen Hurts is kind of up and down, but I'm going to go Eagles over the Rams. Coach, you hate the Rams. You got to pick the Eagles.
I'm going to go Rams.
Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna go Rams with Puka, Cooper, and the way Matthew Stafford's been playing.
He did have some
He's had
pretty
some baller
amazing throws
games.
last
I'm
week.
gonna Ram jam it.
Nick, what you doing?
I don't think I can pick the Rams. The only thing that drives me nuts about the Eagles, Sirianni's just kind of a slime ball. Just not
Nobody
a fan.
likes him. Nobody likes him.
Yeah, but
All right. But you are going to take
the Eagles are hot.
Yeah. They're riding on it right now, so I'm going to go with them. Coach defers on that one, and then our final Monday Night Football game for Coach is Ravens versus Chargers. This could be an interesting one because they're very similar. The brothers going up against each other.
The
Harbaugh versus Harbaugh.
You know the crazy thing, Justin Herbert, one interception all year. He's been good. This is a J.K. Dobbins coming back to Baltimore.
Still, one interception is phenomenal.
It's extremely impressive. Lad McConkey, you can see now with Carson Beck, who is this Heisman favorite at Georgia. No Bowers, no Lad. He ain't shit. So I'm gonna take the Chargers in this. I'm gonna rep the AFC West and take the Chargers.
Wow.
I thought I was gonna get one here. I guess I'll take the Ravens then if you're gonna go ahead and take the Chargers.
Why? Join me.
No.
He says no. I'm taking the Ravens as well. But it's the kind of the safe pick. I mean, Coach is going out on a limb here.
Yeah, if he's going to take the risk, I'll stay on the safe side and try to get a game, I suppose.
There you go. All right, well, that does it for our predictions for the week. Anything else you fellas want to bring up before we run the night down? Besides using Underdog with promo code RTK and get your tickets on SeatGeek with promo code RTK for $20 off your first order.
Okay, that was a good effort, Brendan. That's my thing. Okay, because I have the puns. I'm the comedic guy here. Okay,
yeah.
In this,
did you have
trio,
something prepared?
This throuple, this
okay,
triangle of love we have? I'm the funny guy. Okay.
Well, I clearly wasn't trying to be funny.
Well, yeah, but that's what gets the one person that uses the code. it's my funny.
We had 2 last month. Thanks.
2 last month. Okay, there we go. Yeah. We're making progress. 2 is better than 1. 2 is better than 1. No, I'm just glad to be back, man. This is fun. We all talk about how low key we all wish we could, be doing this for a living, but we can do this on a random Wednesday night and have fun with it. I'm looking forward to being back next week and doing it.
100%. All right. Well, I don't think I'll have anything to celebrate next week, but I'm sure Nick will, and then Coach, you probably will as well. So.
Man,
if we lose to the fucking Panthers, I'll wear a dress on the show. Yeah, there is no chance that we're losing to the Panthers.
Oh, we're definitely filming next week then. God,
for sure.
A dress,
something revealing.
Yeah, something skimpy for the crew. All right. Well, the show took a turn.
Yes.
All right. We'll see everybody next week. Thanks for tuning in tonight.